Hey, what's up guys? Joseph here for another entry in the top 10 series. This one is going to be my top 10 Marvel superheroes.
Number 10.
Doctor Strange. Now, I am filming this video the couple of days before the movie's release, so I don't really know that much about him. I have played a game called Marvel Ultimate Alliance. You guys may have heard of it. It's basically every Marvel superhero and villains in the game, and you gotta defeat all the villains playing as the heroes. That's essentially what the game is. And Doctor Strange plays a significant part in one of the chapters. Other than that, he's a magician. Basically, he's an interesting character in that game. I don't know that much about him. That's why he was number 10.
Number 9.
Cyclops is one of the two heroes on this list that they have screwed over in their movies. Cyclops, not really their movie, his movie, but it's X-Men. He's part of the X-Men. But Cyclops is my second favorite X-Men. In the comics and in the cartoon, he was such a better character than he was in the movies. I'm not saying it's James Marsden's fault. I want to say that's the actor who plays him. It's studio script writers. I'm not 100% sure whose fault it was, but somebody screwed him up.
Number 8.
Thor. I'm not that big of a fan of Thor until I saw the Thor movie. Like Doctor Strange, I didn't really know that much about him until I played Marvel Ultimate Alliance. Anyways, Thor I didn't really get into until the movie came out in 2011. I didn't really care that much about him until I saw him in the Avengers. I'm hoping his third movie is going to be so much better than the first two. The first one's not that bad. The second one, the third one, I am hoping it's going to be great. Marvel said that it's going to be Thor's Winter Soldier, and Winter Soldier is my favorite. Well, I don't know. It's between that and Civil War and the Avengers. So far, since they said it's going to be Winter Soldier, the Winter Soldier of Thor's trilogy, I guess. I'm really hoping it's going to be great and really excited for that movie.
Number 7.
Number 7 is Black Panther. Now, this one, I didn't really know that much about him. And no, I didn't know that much about him in Marvel Ultimate Alliance because he wasn't even in the game that I can remember anyways. But I didn't know that much about him until he was announced for Civil War. Like, I've heard of him before that casting and character reveal that he was going to be in, and I heard about Black Panther before then, yes, but I didn't really do any research or anything like that. I didn't really go out looking for comic Black Panther. I mean, he just never really was interesting to me, but now that I've watched him in Civil War and gone back and read some of the comics and backstory and everything that happens, he may end up surpassing my number 6.
Number 6.
The Hulk. I don't read that many Hulk comics. He's one of the few characters that I like him because of how he is right now with Mark Ruffalo. I didn't really care. I didn't like that movie with Eric Bana. I thought that the Edward Norton Incredible Hulk was underrated, but when Mark Ruffalo took control of the Hulk in the Avengers, he became the standout in the whole movie. He became my favorite of the whole movie. And the best moments, the best scenes, everything happened with the Hulk. The Loki and the throwing around Loki like a rag doll. The tension with Mark Ruffalo in the scene where in that room in the helicarrier about the midpoint of the movie where the Avengers are fighting among themselves and Hawkeye shoots a bolt and blows up an engine of the helicarrier. That scene with the Avengers in that room talking, the tension, amazing. Yeah, I Mark Ruffalo made that Hulk this high for me, because before that I just really thought of him as a brute force. Nothing really to the character, nothing really behind the scenes wise anyways, but Mark Ruffalo made the character that much more likable to me anyways.
Number 5.
If I would have made this list about 5 years ago, if I would have been doing YouTube back then, my number 5 wouldn't even be in an honorable mention, because he's the other character that I referred to a while back with when I was talking about the Cyclops as the character that really got screwed over. And my number 5 is Daredevil. The only reason he is on this list is because of the Netflix show Daredevil. Before then, I was about 9 or 10 years old when I saw that Daredevil movie that came out in 02, 03, whatever. Even at 9 and 10, I hated that movie. And 9 and 10 year olds, they're easily entertained, and I was bored out of my mind with this movie. But the Netflix show, I'm not going to spoil anything, because the Netflix show, I heard great things about it. I didn't check it out at first. I heard great things about it, and I eventually came to the point where I had to check it out. My God, Daredevil on Netflix it's one of my favorite shows. Up there with The Walking Dead and Game of Thrones, believe it or not. It's probably number 3 behind those two. I don't know. I got to do some more thinking about it. But Daredevil, whether it's Charlie Cox playing Daredevil, the only thing I don't like about this Netflix show, the only thing I don't like about it is Foggy Nelson. That minus him, that show is the best show on Netflix in my opinion. Above, this probably won't get a whole lot of hate. Above Orange is the New Black. Above, me personally, I like it better than House of Cards. House of Cards is a good show, but me personally, I gotta say Daredevil's better. Jessica Jones is another one, but I'm not that big of a fan of Jessica Jones compared to Daredevil. I haven't. I hate saying this, but I haven't seen Luke Cage yet. I've heard great things about it. I just haven't had the time to check it out. But I will someday, maybe, who knows, Luke Cage will be on this list some point. I may do another, or like a continuation type thing, like a whole different list about another 10 Marvel heroes, and Luke Cage probably be on that if I ever watch it. Yeah, I'm gonna be talking about the show. I'd be talking about the show for about 2 hours if you let me. But yeah, Daredevil is my number 5.
Number 4.
If it wasn't for the Winter Soldier, Captain America would not be my number 4. He'd probably be on the list more than likely, but he'd be lower than number 4. Captain America was, to me, like Superman, Mr. Goody Two Shoes, and I like that a little, but at a point I gotta I can't do it anymore, because most of them are just that. They have no edge to them, really. They don't really have that much character, I guess, to them, other than being that Mr. Goody Two Shoes. Winter Soldier and Civil War made Captain America this high for me anyways. He may be higher on your list. If you guys think he deserves to be higher, but let me comment down below, let me know.
Number 3.
The other X-Men that I like better than Cyclops, and that's Wolverine. In the cartoon of the X-Men back in the 90s, I did not... Wolverine, I'm not going to say I didn't like Wolverine. Wolverine wasn't my personal favorite of the X-Men. Cyclops was. But when that movie, the first movie came out in 2000 with Patrick Stewart, Ian McKellen, Hugh Jackman, and the rest of them, Hugh Jackman was Wolverine. He is Wolverine. I'm not. God, I hate it that Hugh Jackman's leaving. But I didn't think he'd be around forever with the X-Men. I mean, I get it. He wants to do other things, but he'll always be Wolverine to me. Even with the movies that I didn't necessarily like or I downright hated, like X-Men Origins Wolverine, I freaking hated that movie. And the Wolverine, I thought it was okay. I didn't hate it as much as Origins, but it wasn't great. Logan, The new movie that's coming out next year, Wolverine 3, his last movie, the trailers got me. I'm not watching any more trailers. I'm not watching any sneak peeks. Not watching any TV spots. Nothing. I'm hooked in. I'm ready for it in March. I believe it's the first weekend in March, if I'm not mistaken. It's gonna suck that Hugh Jackman's not gonna be Wolverine anymore though. So, but oh well. I didn't expect him to be around that much longer for Wolverine, because he's been Wolverine for about 16 years now, and 8 movies now of Wolverine, if I'm not mistaken. X-Men, X-Men 2, Last Stand, Origins, The Wolverine, Days of Future Past, First Class, and Logan, X-Men Apocalypse. 9 movies.
Number 2.
Iron Man. Now, I was talking about how Hugh Jackman was pretty much born to play Wolverine. I haven't seen a casting that I can think of on the top of my head, on the spot, that it was as perfect as Robert Downey Jr. as Iron Man. Robert Downey Jr. is essentially Iron Man, and he plays off of it in interviews and the Make-A-Wish videos on YouTube. And it's funny that if we were talking about when this whole superhero craze started back in 2000 with the X-Men, nobody really knew who Iron Man was in the main scale of things. But once that movie came out in '08, everybody knew who Iron Man was. It's just beyond me that a character like Iron Man, who I used to look at like as kind of a joke, and then Robert Downey Jr. played him in that 2008 movie, and I was wrong. It's by far one of my favorites. I don't know exactly where it ranks in the rest of the MCU movies. I may have to do a list. I don't remember me doing a list of ranking the MCU movies. I know I've done a top 10 Marvel movie list, but I don't think I've done a MCU only list. I may do it at the end of this Infinity War with Thanos, but Iron Man is going to be up there. I can go ahead and tell you. Not unless these next couple of movies that are coming out the next couple of years are downright amazing.
Number 1.
Honestly, is there anyone else that it could be other than Spider-Man? Spider-Man was really the first hero that I've actually liked. Before Superman, before Batman. I hate to say it right now, but Spider-Man was my entrance into the superhero genre. I mean, whether it's the Tobey Maguire Spider-Mans, or say what you will about the Andrew Garfield, he was great as Spider-Man. Maybe not the movies, at least the second one. I actually liked the Amazing Spider-Man, the first one. I actually liked that one, but the second one, I can't even defend. I'm sorry, it wasn't his fault. It was the studio or the Spider-Man we have now with Tom Holland, which in my opinion is the best Spider-Man we've had. I love the cartoon back in the '90s. It's not that hard of a choice for me for Spider-Man being my favorite Marvel hero. I mean, as I'll get into another list, he is the Batman of the Marvel comics universe. And what I mean by that is his villain list. Like, there is nobody in the Marvel comics that has his rogue gallery of villains. Just like Batman. Batman has the best DC villains. Spider-Man has most of the best Marvel villains. As I'll do a list of both top 10 Spider-Man villains and top 10 Batman villains. But that being said, that's my list. Honorable mentions: Blade. I want to say it was the first Marvel superhero movie. Vampire Hunter, kind of like Van Helsing, but I don't really want to spoil anything. Just watch the movies, watch the first movie and the second one. Don't even waste your time with the third one. Watch those first 2 movies. You'll see why he's an honorable mention. The second honorable mention is Nightcrawler. Now, Nightcrawler, I wasn't that big of a fan of Nightcrawler until X2. He was in the Marvel Ultimate Alliance, but he wasn't a main player in the story, so I didn't really care that much about him. But X2, it was the first time anyone's seen him in the big screen. I'm not that big of a fan of how he is right now in that Apocalypse movie. Maybe it's because that Apocalypse movie itself wasn't that great. Now, I don't know if it was the theater experience, but I actually did like it when I watched it in the theater, but I watched it again since then, and I don't know, it's not what I was thinking it was when I watched it in the theater. I mean, the Quicksilver scene is great, but the entire movie, other than that, is just, it's okay. But anyway, it's not Nightcrawler, it's another honorable mention. And the third and final honorable mention on this list is Ant-Man. He was only on this list because I actually liked this movie. I liked it a whole lot better than Age of Ultron. I don't know if anybody else, I don't know if I'm in the minority or the majority on that one, but I guess I'll find out when I post this video. Ant-Man is an honorable mention. Maybe with future movies coming out, maybe he'll be higher. We'll see. That's my list, guys. Let me know yours in the comments below. If you got a top 10 suggestion, comment down below. Let me know, and I'll try to turn it into a video if I can. As always, like me on Facebook at JMash97. Follow me on Twitter at JMash97. Links in the description below. Mash out.